Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your favorite rapper, Billy, or B Sizzle, whichever you prefer. I know I'm late with this reaction, but here it is. Times I Plagiarized by TheOdd1sOut. As you guys can notice, I use my tablet instead of my laptop, and that's because I just find it easier and more convenient to make videos basically whenever I would like. So, I'm gonna try to go ahead and be more consistent with my videos like I was before. So we're gonna go ahead and do this because I was already late with the other reaction that I was supposed to be giving out yesterday. I decided why not do it today, but I have to hurry up because Miss Pro live streams at 8:45 and I have to be careful to not overreact because I as you guys probably may not know, I'm a moderator on his live stream, so I have to be there. The original link will be in the description. Make sure you go subscribe to the Odd Ones Out, and without further ado, let's begin.
I almost lost a $1,000 scholarship because of plagiarism. Let's talk about that. Plagiarism. Adverb. The practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as one's own.
I can't turn it up.
Plagiarism sounds like a crime. Racism, sexism, plagiarism. I'm not here to talk about people who repost my comics at JPEG to cut my name off and have the audacity to put their own watermark on. No, not that kind of plagiarism.
I can't turn it up. Hold on. Okay, hopefully I fixed it because that sound was way too low for you guys to hear. Let's try this again.
Plagiarism. Adverb. The practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as one's own. Just the word plagiarism sounds like a crime. Racism, sexism, and plagiarism. I'm not here to talk about people who repost my comics JPEG to cut my name off and have the audacity to put their own watermark on. No, not that kind of plagiarism. I'm going to tell you about all the times that I plagiarized in school. And okay,
I am guilty of plagiarism. Hard to believe, but I actually am guilty of plagiarism. And I was told about it when I was in middle school. I used to plagiarize in like 8th grade. I think I learned about it in like 6th grade. And I started doing it in 8th grade because it was literally just hard to do the project. And I started like falling behind on it. And I was actually shedding tears to no end. So this right here, plagiarizing, if you would to copy James's art style and pass it off as your own work, that could classify as plagiarism. But it only depends if you have like the same art style as he does, like make your characters all round and stuff like that. I think that's what counts as plagiarism.
just off topic, I want to address something publicly. I don't go looking through other people's comics and go, oh, this comic's funny, I'm going to redraw it and pass it off as my own. No, I'm not about that life. But some of my comics have been very similar to other people's comics. I read a lot of comics, so it's possible I saw them and then repressed them in my memory and drew them again, or it's possible that it's all a coincidence and me and someone else just came up with the same idea. It happened.
I just call that inspiration. I don't really call that plagiarism per se. I just call that inspiration. But either way, if you do it exactly, then I think that's what counts as plagiarism. If you do it in your own way, then that's not plagiarism, that's just inspiration.
Happens all the time with other cartoonists, not just me. Again, I don't purposely take comic ideas and try and pass them off as my own. Whenever people point out that my comic is a lot like someone else's, I get really sad. So you guys should check out these other cartoonists, they're really good. Anyway, I just wanted to say that at the beginning of the video because I'm going to be telling you about times that I actually did plagiarize. But that was just in school, okay? I keep plagiarism off the internet. Isn't that right, Matthew? I cheated a bit in school. An occasional glance at my partner's desk, maybe jot down that important equation on my hand, nothing too big. I had a math class where we went to...
Okay, so for my incident when I plagiarized, this was in 8th grade, and it was a science class project that I had to turn in. It was like a biome project, me and my group got the freshwater biome, and I had to do most of the work basically. because the teacher wanted separate copies of everyone's work, which understandable, but they couldn't plagiarize from articles on the internet. They had to literally either reword it, or they had to get their own research done and not copy it, just put it in their own words. They had to use their own stuff, which is actually stupid, because I was actually able to take some aspects from that project and reuse it, and literally word for word write the entire thing down in my 12th grade project, and I still passed that thing. I don't know what the deal with teachers is nowadays.
to lunch in the middle of the class, and whenever we had tests, the teacher wouldn't split the test into 2 parts. Do you expect us not to exchange notes? The
Yes.
first time that I got caught cheating was in 9th grade. And if you stalk me and watch my old videos, you know that I went to a preparatory school my freshman year. And in preparatory school, the amount of work they gave you as kids was just stupid. So cut me some slack. In one class, we had to write an essay about something historical or something, and I chose to write about the Berlin Wall, specifically about people who escaped across the Berlin Wall. Now, I chose this topic because, I don't know if you know this, but there's a National Geographic documentary about this exact topic.
Okay, so he wasn't allowed to draw the guy because then people would get offended, so he had to actually draw Donald Trump. And I know that you guys hate Trump for absolutely no reason, but The Wall, A World Divided. Is that actually a movie by PBS? Public Broadcast System? That could be an interesting movie. I'm going to have to check it out. But he had to draw Donald Trump, and I know you guys hate him for absolutely no reason, but he still had to draw him because if he drew the guy, people would get offended. So he couldn't do that.
Topic. So I didn't copy and paste anything into my essay per se, it's just I told the exact same stories in the exact same order as the documentary, and okay, I might have wrote some things down word for word, but at least I didn't plagiarize it from Wikipedia, okay? So I didn't copy and paste anything until I had to write the conclusion of the essay, and I found this article talking about it, and the article said some things that would have been perfect in my essay, so Control-C, Control-V. I turned it in, I didn't think too much of it, but then when I got it back, the conclusion paragraph had been highlighted and a "See Me" was written next to it. So I had gotten in trouble for plagiarizing the conclusion. Just the conclusion.
That's really stupid. If you could get caught for plagiarizing something, I would suggest using it in your own words next time. But here's the thing. My economics final exam for my final exam in my economics in 12th grade, I was allowed to use any kind of article, and I was allowed to copy it word for word, and I still passed it. How crazy is that, bruh? But that was in 2022. I'm not sure what the school rules are nowadays, because I haven't been in school for a while. I haven't been in school for 3 years. So if we really want to go ahead and see that this was back in like the 90s or something, maybe the early 2000s, way before B-Sizzle came into the picture, we could go ahead and just conclude that this was from the early 2000s, before I was even born. If you guys know, I was born in 2004, so anything that complies to me, I was probably not born yet. So we need to go ahead and we can go ahead and just assume that this took place in the early 2000s, before September 2004. Let's keep going. Oh, shoot. All right,
Nothing else. To be honest, I'd kind of forgotten that I copied and pasted the conclusion. I thought he knew that I basically turned in a script of a documentary. The teacher, who we'll call Mr. Batman, it makes sense if you knew him, he took me outside the classroom, he told me that it was bad that I plagiarized, and he called my parents that freaking snitch. My parents got mad at me too. He gave me a chance to rewrite the essay, and I remember just...
All of your teachers are snitches. I'm not gonna even cap. All of your teachers are snitches, okay? It literally happened to me too. Like, I would just be chilling and not worrying about my schoolwork, and then I would get yelled at by my grandpa saying, "Hey Billy, your teacher called." and said that one of your assignments is missing, and now it'd be like, wow, that snitch. And all your teachers are snitches. I'm not even gonna cap. All of them snitch on you for no reason because they're literal dirt wapes. I wasn't gonna go ahead and curse on here because I saw how well that worked out the first time. I'm not doing that anymore. Let's keep going.
Just being so traumatized and stressed out that night, I kept thinking, what if he finds a documentary and sees that I practically plagiarized the whole essay? I ended up rewriting not only the conclusion, but the whole freaking essay. I turned in the new essay, and I don't think he ever found out that I copied the whole thing. Except, I did just admit it, and he watches my videos. Seriously, in April, he emailed me and asked if I was the same James that was in his class. He's the only teacher to ever reach out to me, and even after all those years, I still didn't tell him that I plagiarized the whole thing. So, hi, Mr. Batman. You can't change my grade now, can you? But that—
James! You plagiarized the entire movie script? How could you, bruh? How could you? No, I'm just kidding. Because I can't talk, I am guilty of plagiarism myself, so I can't really talk at all. But that was for my 12th grade final exam, and I passed that with, I don't remember what score I got, but I still passed it. Man.
That was a good experience for me to have. It taught me a valuable lesson, because I didn't plagiarize a single essay for the rest of high school. But then community college rolled around. I did community college for a bit because I couldn't afford university on a
James, what did we say? Plagiarism can get you in jail, bruh. It can get you in jail, bruh. I'm just joking here, but plagiarism is a serious crime. Don't ever do it, everyone. Anyone who's in school, don't plagiarize ever, because it's something that you will pay for, and it's something that your parents will have to pay for if you happen to get caught or told, or you are reported to the police. Let's keep going.
Subway payroll. I took honors and AP classes in high school. I was a relatively good student, except I didn't take any of the AP tests. So when I went to community college, I had to take classes that were a step below the classes I took in high school. What a great way to spend my time! Senior year of English, we were writing essays analyzing poetry. Freshman year of college, we were writing movie reviews. And the teacher didn't even like me. She thought I was a slacker because I was never paying attention. I didn't take community college seriously, but it was so easy, I was still getting amazing grades. On the third semester of community,
I refuse to go to college simply because I don't think I would have the patience to deal with a lot of people who happen to be immature. I literally have told my grandparents that I am not going to college because it's literally going to mess with my mind even more. Like, literally 14 years of school was enough. I didn't want to go ahead and spend another 4. That would be an entire adulthood. I'm not going to go ahead and do that. That's actually a quarter of my life, bro. I ain't doing it. I never will. And I'm gonna, keep on working. And as I have, keep on working. I'm gonna keep working. I have a job. I need it. I'm gonna keep working.
college, I took a public speaking class. Now, I might be an introvert, but I don't have a problem with public speaking. That's part of my job now. I took the class because it would be an easy A, and I needed a communications credit for my major. I wanted to be a math teacher, and you may not have noticed, but they publicly speak all the time. So I take the class, I'm like the best person in the class, right? And for the final, we had to give a persuasive speech in front of everyone. Oh, and by the way, I didn't learn, like, any tricks to help with public speaking. The whole class was literally just us giving speeches to each other over and over. So
that would be a cool thing, but I suck at writing essays. Okay, so let me go ahead and just let you guys know real quick. I had to write essays in high school. You guys probably aren't the only ones, but I had to write mine by hand. And I literally had to go ahead and use my own ideas to try and pass. So you guys probably know that I went to high school for 4 years, and I graduated from the same one, actually. Like, I had to go ahead and write essays nonstop in order to get a grade for it. And it was mainly English classes that I had to do that. And then in my last year of high school, I also went to a tech school for early childhood education, and my teacher told me to write an essay for the last question on my first exam, and she loved the way I write my essays, which was awkward because I sucked at writing essays when I was in 8th, ninth, 10th, and 11th grade. I would have to rewrite essays and rough drafts over and over and over again. I literally had to write it over and over just for the teacher to like it. I'm like, God, what do you want from me? I literally, just... that's literally me furiously writing just to impress the teacher. The teacher didn't like anything I did, no matter what I tried. I was not really intelligent in ninth grade, but but my skills did improve when I got into 10th grade, and my skills went right back down when I went into 11th grade. But 11th grade was the virtual year, so I didn't really have to do a lot of essays. But 12th grade, oh man, when 12th grade came back, and that's when everyone started going back into school, I was furious. I was literally having to write essays again. I was absolutely livid that if I had the same teacher again, I would actually lose my mind. But luckily, I had a different teacher from 10th and 11th grade, and I was able to pass my last year with all A's and B's. So, yep. Yepperoonie. Let's keep going.
So 3 semesters of doing easy classes and wasting my time, my apathy meters were just off the charts. I didn't want to work too hard, so I chose to do my speech on why we should get rid of the penny. And I don't know if you know this, but there's this YouTube video made by CGP Grey that makes great arguments on why we Americans should get rid of the penny. Again,
why do we need to get rid of the penny? I understand. It's 1 cent. Literally 1 cent. That's not going to help anyone, but I do kind of think that it should be kept. Oh my god, I need to finish this up fast. So, I do agree that the penny can be kind of insignificant because it's only 1 cent, but I still think that we should keep it because it's been around for a long time. They've been around since the 1800s, if I remember correctly, I think.
Again, I didn't copy and paste anything per se. It's just the speech I gave had the exact same arguments in the exact same order as CGP Grey. Okay, it was pretty much a one-for-one recreation of his whole video. I'm sorry, I thought we were getting graded on public speaking, not writing original speeches. The teacher caught me, I guess she's a fan of CGP Grey, and gave me a 0 on the final. So I ended up getting a D in the class, and that was the worst grade I got in community college.
I'm guessing a D was failing back then, 63% or lower. But for when I went to school, E was the lowest grade that you could actually get. 63% or lower was E, and then 64 to 66 is D. 69 to 79 is a C. 80 to 89 is a B, and 90 to 100 is an A. And I'm gonna go ahead and also insert this. There was one time where I had a 101 in the class, and I was like, what in the world? How is having 101A even possible? I thought 100 was the highest grade you get, but no. I had 101.0. What? How? I would love for it to go higher. Let's just see if you guys can actually make that something that could happen. Let's see if we can get the grades to go up to 200, maybe even 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1000. let's see if you guys can make those grades go higher, because I would love for it to go higher than 101. Let's keep going.
Part of me was like, whatever. I don't care. This next semester, though, I wanted to go to a real college, and still trying to be economical, I found that it was actually cheaper for me to go to an out-of-state school than to go in-state. At this school, they gave scholarships to out-of-state students who had high enough GPAs and enough credits. It would have saved me thousands of dollars. And I had family living in this state, so that was another reason why I wanted to go to that school. But here's the thing. Even with that D, I still had a high enough GPA to get the scholarship, but since I failed, it didn't count as a credit, so I ended up being 1 credit short for what was required. Plagiarizing was going to cost me thousands of dollars. My options were either stay home and do a 1 credit semester of community college, or beg the university to give me my scholarship anyway. During Christmas, my family visited the state the school was in, so me and my dad got the chance to go to the school and basically talk our way into getting the scholarship. We talked to 5 different people. Now that's public speaking. I had to use my persuasive talking skills that I would have learned. And all of them were telling us there's nothing we can do. But we were talking to one lady. She was telling us the same thing about not being able to do anything. She looked at my transcript. She said, "Oh, you failed public speaking." She looked at it for a bit. She typed something on her computer. She printed out a piece of paper and handed it to me saying, "It's okay, I'm not good at public speaking either." She thought I was bad at public speaking! She thought I failed because I was insecure or something and not because I did something wrong. Yeah, I'm just terrible at speaking to the public. So really, there was something you could do. I got the scholarship because a lady wearing a lot of eyeshadow took pity on me, but I only ended up
So they all lied. They lied to you, bruh. That's lying. Lying. They lied to you, bruh. They lied. Lying is a sin to God. Never do it, bruh. Don't lie ever, man.
staying a semester and a half at that school because my YouTube kicked off, and now I'm doing that full time. But I'm still thankful I got the scholarship. I hope my public speaking teacher could see where I am now. I speak in front of millions of people for my job. I mean, I can't see them and I'm just reading everything off a script in my closet. And I didn't get punished for plagiarism. I didn't learn my lesson. And I didn't learn anything in your class.
Bad way to end it. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and mod Miss Bro's live stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and tap post notification bell. Again, video link in the description, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.